Hi, this is Simon from Painting in France, and now I want to show you the second technique I often use with painting in a journal, and that is using reference photographs, which I've taken earlier, because sometimes you'll find the perfect spot, but then it becomes overcrowded with people, the boats change, the weather changes,
or you've got nowhere to sit.
Or you've got nowhere to sit, exactly. So I've got a few photographs on my phone. We love smartphones.
Can we?
I'm not sure if you can see it, can you? Can you see that?
Yeah,
Probably
we
not.
can. Yeah.
It's like it's the perfectly composed photograph, which would sometimes be almost impossible to paint from that angle anyway. But I'm going to make a start. I don't know if you want to show the scene. We are quite close to here.
So that is the scene that we can see, and the boats that Simon are painting are actually the ones that are down there, but you kind of not an ideal position to paint from. There's something, I'm just going to try and get a little bit more behind you on this one.
Let's just got the kind of little sort of fortress on the distant hill. I might wander over here. Let me just get this. So I wanted to get the edge of the fortress in. What I'll often do is just get the main block sketched in. We've got a bit of a water level there somewhere. We've got some distant hills, a fine fortress. Let's just take that out on the page. This will leave me room to put my notes and so on around the edge. I'm just looking, I can't really see what I'm drawing, but I'll just glance over and I can see the details. So that's not too bad. Now, there's a little bit down here. Okay, let's have a look. Like I said, this is once again a sort of artist impression. I'm not going to get too bogged down in it. So there's a few of these little kind of didn't you say they were kind of anchovy boats?
The anchovy boats, yeah. So Collioure, apart from all of its history and its little frontier town and its harbour, it actually has a great tradition of anchovy fishing, and they actually cure the anchovies here as well. So you can buy fantastic anchovies that have either been salted or have been marinated in a sort of mix of olive oil and vinegar.
They are delicious, aren't they?
They are. And actually we saw some flitting away in the shallows the other day, didn't we, when we were sitting having a little glass of wine.
We warned them, escape while you can. Okay, now I've roughly got the shapes, and what do I want to do? I mean, actually...
Sorry guys, the wind is picking up again.
Roughly got this kind of thing. I'm putting the 3 boats in. We've got the kind of the mast which they have down to the prow there. And one of the boats, rather nice.
Excusez-moi. On peut prendre encore un café crème s'il vous plaît. Et avez-vous un tisane?
On a verveine menthe, verveine camomille.
Ah, verveine camomille s'il vous plaît.
Une verveine?
Oui.
Allez.
Très bien, merci.
There we are, even got the waiters in the scene. Okay, so now I'm just sketching this solution. It's going to be reflections. We've got a couple of the boats there. It's a bit more of a fortress thing.
You're really kind of making the boats the hero of the shot,
Absolutely,
aren't you?
yeah. We've got a lovely tree there.
They're not all, some of them seem to be almost like rowing skiffs, aren't they, of some sort?
Yeah. There we are, there's a few of these. Okay, so once again, this is going to be sketched with just a ballpoint pen. Like I said, I like the variety of stroke you can do. You can do very light sketches, and then get a bit heavier if you want. That's got all those things in there. Might just put a slightly grander.
Is that little squiggle at the top the fortress?
That's the little fortress at the top there, yeah. There's some lovely little trees there as well. I'm not going to get into too much detail. That's the end of that sticking out. So that's kind of quite a nice little composition now. It's not exactly as the photograph, but hey, this is it's not about photorealism. So once I've got that, I can start putting some colours in. I can put that down to one side. So I'll make a start with these. Let's start with the big brush again. Splash of water. In fact, this time, what I'll do this time, I'll start with my building colours and then go to the sky afterwards to see if that makes a difference. So what have we got? Yeah, here we go. Let's
See that hill that's got its blanket on again today?
yeah, that's it. That's just a hovering cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
It
is
was amazing the other day. In fact, I'll pan up to it. You guys might be able to see it in the distance. There's a kind of a hill in the distance. It might disappear on video, but just beyond, before the headland. And yesterday, it was a beautiful sunny day, but there was this cloud just sitting over that that little outcrop there, and it actually reminded me a lot of how they have the tablecloth on Table Mountain in Cape Town.
That's true. It was just hovered, isn't it?
Yeah, it just sits there.
Okay, actually, while
So you've used, what's that, Naples
I've got
yellow?
Naples yellow, and I'm just putting, while it's damp, I'm just putting a little bit of yellow ochre in there as well, just to give it a little bit of character. That'll do. Just go off the page there. So I mean, it's a very loose frame, and I think once again we're going to have to let that dry a little bit now, and then I'll come back with the sky and the trees.
So I'm going to just pan around and just to give you guys a bit of view of that fort as well. The fort is absolutely amazing. It actually is or was a royal castle at one stage as well. But it's a sort of mix of a fort and a castle. It's just absolutely incredible. Quite sort of monolithic and slab-like. But again, being improved and worked on over centuries and occupied by various conquering forces.
Exactly.
This sort of... How are we getting on the drawing side?
No, I think I'll have to come back to it. Right, I've just started putting some sky, and I've put a little dash of cerulean blue sweeping across there. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put some in just across that sea. I'm trying to avoid that flag. It'd be nice to have that nice and bright, wouldn't it? Let me see, yeah. Just around these boats, just to...
Every now and then we have some very curious passers by who sort of stare at us,
That's it, yes.
trying to
Always
figure
see
out what we're
celebrities.
busy doing.
Yes. Okay, I'm just going to put a little slightly darker down here. Give it a little slide to the
we kind of
fresher
vaguely-
colours than everybody is.
A few years ago, felt like we had well, not quite celebrity status, did we? But it was quite funny. We did a few episodes of A New Life in the Sun,
New Life in the Sun, yes.
and we had merci.
Yes.
Hop.
Just a hint of something under the boat.
Guess what? We have to wait for that to dry again.
You have to wait. No, what I could do, I'll put some distant hills up there as well now. So there's only a slight drawback with this customised palette I've got. There's only two sort of areas to mix your colours. Let's go. Put a little bit of
There's like a roulant up there as well, isn't there?
the mill, yeah, there is on
Yeah,
the
there's
hill,
a
yes.
windmill,
Here's
an old
on,
windmill.
it's on the postcard. I'm just going to put, that's just kind of sap green. I'm just going to put a little bit of Gouache green in the foreground. I might come back to that later on. Let's have a little down the edge.
It's cauliflowering.
Cauliflower, yeah, it's a little bit watery really. But that's okay because it's like the first wash in that area. The main thing is just to
Millie, reste là. Stay here. No, Millie, come on. I just realised her thing has come undone. Sorry.
I'm going to put some shadows in as well now, just a little bit of Payne's grey. Let's see if that's the right colour.
Is that properly dry yet, or
Yeah,
kind of
that
enough to put the shadows in?
Yeah, it should be enough to put the shadows in. And now I've lost my tissue, so let's have all of those. just want to put just literally on the sides of those boats, just a nice swoosh of a kind of shadow colour. There we go. A little bit in there as well. I think I've missed a boat out here, haven't I? One here.
Doesn't really matter though, does it?
No, this is it. Maybe let's have a little bit of shadow down here. Put around the tree. I'll use a bit of that grey to come down the wall as well. There we go. That's fine. Great. I'll put a tree in there. I'll let that dry now, and we'll come back to it.
Okay, do you want to talk us through your kind of final stages?
Yeah, so let me just recap. I started with a little biro, a little ball pen sketch of the scene based on a photograph I'd taken earlier. I've washed some sky and some distant hills, some background Naples yellow on the buildings and so on, and then I'm just slowly flicking these colours in. But the important thing is to make sure you're drying it as you go along. Even though it's just a quick sketch, it will look much fresher if you let it dry first and then you put the bright colours on afterwards. So now, hopefully my flag has dried enough for me to put some red in. So let's go with the red. A couple of little stripes.
We're waiting for the big reveal because your hand is in the way. But
Okay.
don't worry, it's
probably not exactly. I may be arrested for producing the wrong flag. Otherwise, 4 reds and 4 yellows. Actually, I think I'm okay. While I've got the red in, there's a few more lovely little red flicks here. I'm sure there's some. I'm going to just like cadmium red.
Ironically, you've actually got a few. That end boat has got a little bit of yellow on it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know if that's a possibility.
I'm on a bit of a red mood this morning, so I'll put some red in. I might come back for you. But then, now you can see, I've switched to a slightly smaller brush. The crowds are flooding in now, so I may have to stop. But now I'm going to get a little bit of burnt sienna and Payne's grey. Mix it into my custom palette. It's going quite thick. Try it out on a little bit of scrap paper. And now I'm going to turn the. Let's see what.
Do you flick up or flick down?
I'm just working out. Luckily, I've drawn the masts in. The idea is you draw the masts in, and then you can just turn the thing around and flick them up. So I'm just going to go.
Flick.
There's one. This one's a bit behind the flag, so I'm going to take it to the flag and beyond like that. And I think I'm just going to put another one in there. There we go. That's okay. I'll leave that one like that. I'll make that a little bit thicker. And we've also got some the sails which are kind of coming down to that point there. So let's just put a few big deep and then a brush stroke flying it. Let's take one a little bit higher. One a bit lower. Is there one on this boat? I can't remember.
No, that's
We'll leave that.
That's a rowing skip.
It is. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. But actually now, all I'm going to do, I've got my magic tin, and I've got some gouache white, which is like opaque white. Hopefully the water's clear enough. I'm going to wash my brush out. I'm going to dab this lovely kind of creamy mix. We're just going to put a few little flicks in across here, look. Little dabs.
You're just trying to liven it up a bit.
Yeah, I've got a bit murky with my water, I felt, so I'm just having a few little, just here and there, little flicks. Not too many.
It all looks a little more sparkly as well. The sun's
sun's
out
come out.
again.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a little bit of. Let's try a little bit of. That's nice. You're watching the crowd, don't you? You're watching me. There we are. So.
The crowd, they're so much more interesting after
Right,
2 hours of filming you.
And now
I'm teasing you.
I'm going to put a couple little things across there. There's a little reflection there. What do you think?
I think we're done.
I think we're done. just by putting a few little flicks in, you see. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it?
So we've got our earlier scene that you
So
did.
yeah, this is what I've actually sketched
You-
now the sun's come out, which more or less shows we are in the right place. It was a bit hazy when we were painting. And this picture on the right was also ready, but it's difficult to get there to paint. So I took a photograph and worked from the photograph. But the nice thing is the actual scene is here, but I think that's worked out quite nicely. So let's take a break there. So we got the top left-hand corner, the one from Painted in Situ, and this is just capturing the scene of the boats nearby. Just the distant hills. And if you'd like to see more of my travel journal work, please go to Painting in France on YouTube for more videos.